Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation. So today is going to be an interesting day because I'm going to be restyling the Bugo to be similar to a VW Golf Harlequin. I've had this idea for a while and I was thinking about doing it just whenever I needed a bit of a shorter video, and that's kind of what today is, because today there's also going to be a significant showcase stream coming up actually just after this video gets published. You'll notice fairly quickly that I'm back in the public release, and that's because I've got a ton of mods, and I'm going to be going over all of your submitted cars. There are 170 of them this time around on Twitch, so be sure to go there about an hour after this video is published. Anyways, so this is what a VW Harlequin Golf looks like. This one specifically it's a base yellow color, and then everything else is kind of added on top of that. What I'm going to be trying to do is emulate this exact same style, so that means that the Bugo is going to need to be a base of yellow, and then we'll add in the other colors using some of these mod fixtures here. Specifically these ones located in body molding. It gives us a lot of different options for colors and shapes, and the idea is to be able to fill in the sides like the doors and such. Now this Golf is a 4-door, the Bugo is a 2-door, but that's not going to stop us. We'll try to make it at least a little bit similar. Alright, so our base color is yellow, which means we need to go ahead and make a new yellow for this. Probably something along the lines of that, although this yellow does appear to be a little bit more on this side of things. Yeah, that's probably close. Okay, so we've got our orange yellow set up, and basically what's going to happen is I think I'm going to pretend that there's a door here, so I'll fill in this side of it, but we'll leave the back the same for now. I don't exactly know what color the back is on this car, so we'll have to come up with that ourselves. Now, Automation doesn't let you color individual doors, but it will let us color the hood separately, so I'm going to take advantage of that and color the hood immediately into blue as this car is. And again, the bumpers, this time around the bumper at the back is blue and the bumper at the front is also blue, but it's a different blue. What I think I'm going to do for this situation is this bumper seems to be a little bit easier to color than this one is, so I'm going to color it this kind of blue, and then we'll color this one the same blue as the hood, theoretically. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I know it kind of looks like a clown car, but we will get this going eventually. Okay, one thing that is important, like, I'm not even going to be changing the rest of this car, it's just going to stay the same as it is, so we probably won't end up testing this one in beam just because it's the Bugo. I mean, nothing has changed. But I am going to put these rims on it here. It just looks a little bit nicer and resembles the car once again. Okay, so here comes the fun part, and by fun I mean painful, because this is going to take a serious amount of time. By the way, I have 450 mods, so if you wanted a mod list, literally just go and download everything that's on the workshop. That's what I've got. Okay, so we have two options for reds. Basically we have this dark red or this light red. And I'm thinking, I deleted the wrong one there, I'm thinking this light red is going to be what we're going to do. Now, interestingly, again, looking at the Golf, it stops here, and then the roof, well, the door itself is all one color, and the door connects up here as well. Although that isn't the case on the Bugo, the entire shell here is all yellow. So this doesn't really make that much sense, because the way that the Harlequin works is that, like, the doors are swapped with other cars, and the panels that can be taken off are swapped with other cars. In this case, this is all one piece, oddly enough, so we might have to draw a little bit of a line here to fake that in. Just while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense for us, just to make this ever so slightly more realistic, even though it's not really realistic at all, let's be honest. Okay, so I've drawn that line right there like that, and I've made it yellow in color. That'll be fine for what our purposes are, and also one thing we need to do is bring up these lights up another layer, because, well, they're going to need to be underneath these red colors. Okay, so here's where things get tricky, because I need to put this on here, and it needs to wrap around as well. I think what we're going to have to do is redo all of the layering for the lights and such here as well. This is going to end up being a lot of work. Okay, so I brought the lights up one layer, but as you can see, it doesn't really form around things very well. That's one issue that I did see when starting this. Also, I'm realizing that this car is slowly starting to look like McDonald's. See, at the end of the day here, we're probably going to end up with the most patchy looking Bugo ever, but I don't know, I just find this to be an interesting experiment and just something I wanted to try. I don't know if it's actually going to be successful or not. We're just going to have a weird art piece Bugo at the end of the day. Oh yeah, one thing I'm going to do just to save myself immense pain is I'm going to make this one the same on both sides, so it's mirrored on either side in this case. That's not the way that the actual cars were. They were different on all sides, but for the sake of my sanity, I think this is the best way to go. See, when this goes right, it really does go right because they don't look like they're formed together when you kind of just look at it at a glance. It seems to fill the gaps pretty nicely, but unfortunately it's fragmenting and there is no good way to fix that. Oh yeah, because our doors are going to be that blue color, our mirrors are also going to be that blue color, so we'll just go ahead and do that ahead of time. Okay, so we're kind of at the point now where I have to start putting in the smaller details, and as you would suspect, that's where things get trickier. I'm going to try and do this and try and skip some of it as well. Otherwise, I mean, this video is going to end up being 5 minutes long if I just skip all of it, so I'll have to show you some. The biggest issue I'm having right now is being able to form around this edge, and I think curves are also going to become an issue for us later on, such as this curve here on the door. That's going to be a fun one. Okay, so we do have some other shapes to work with as well. Like I can use these angled pieces to kind of fill in some of these gaps. As you can see, I kind of want to put it here, but it's not really cooperating. Okay, this is really turning into an art piece more than anything, as I kind of anticipated. Although I'm going to say now, this is not going to look good in my first attempt. There's no chance. I think this is the first time I've actually tried to use these pieces extensively as well, so things are not quite working as intended. Although I will say this hood line is working out a lot better than I thought it would. It's going to take some time to get it right though. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. It actually has worked out surprisingly well if it wasn't for the massive clipping here, which is showing all of the yellow through it. And also I'm really struggling to get it to work around the wheel well, but I'm going to keep working on it. I'm actually going to bring the red all the way down here and then cut it off here. That's kind of how it is on the Golf, and I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to try that, and then we'll move on to the door. And then I'll see if I'm actually going to do this or not. I don't know at this point. And then we'll move on to the trunk as well. And the roof on this one, from the looks of things, appears to still be yellow, so we'll just leave that alone. And yeah, I guess we'll probably end up leaving these side things yellow too, just because in the Bugo's body that's part of the main chassis, so I don't know. I'm going to try to fix this little bit and then we'll move on to the door. Okay, so one crash and half an hour later I have came up with this. This is horrible. It is absolutely horrible, and I can see why pretty much nobody has tried this before, as far as I know, because it just does not work well at all, trying to blend these colors and these things together. I made this so it goes up one layer so we can enjoy seeing that through this all. But my goodness, around this area here, it is really tricky to fit any of these pieces on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I want to put a piece, let's say I want to put one right in this corner area here, basically I have to shrink this down, drag it across, and then I've got one pixel done. And you kind of have to do that with literally everything. So that's what I've been doing for the past while, and I'm starting to question whether or not this was a good idea. And I'm thinking that it probably wasn't. I'm literally seeing red at this point, but I'm thinking that just a couple more of these and I'll be done with this side for now. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the blue. We have that color right here, thankfully. Basically, this door is going to be entirely blue. It'll be blue from here all the way down around and then around the side as well, which is quite tricky to do, so let's hope for the best. I think the only saving grace that this blue has is that it matches perfectly, but also this door is relatively straight, so we should be able to make it work. And I'm thinking as well we should probably put the door handle up one layer. But you see, just like that, and then all the way down, so yeah, let me give that a try. Okay, so I have the main part of the door done, and that was done like in less than a minute, so I'm feeling kind of good now. The problem is all of these side areas are a little bit more challenging. Thankfully there's no wheel well to work with. I think these fenders in particular are a huge pain, so I'm glad that that's over with. I might end up leaving this the same color, which is kind of sad, I know, but I really don't want to try and trace this out or have to like run up the side like this either. I don't know. We'll come back to that. We'll see. So yeah, basically what you have to do in order to not lose these things is make them off to the side and then kind of just blend them in that way. And then there you go. One gap filled. Okay, the door was not actually that bad. The way that it forms here is really bad, and I'm still choking when I look at the wheel well because of how bad it is. But that was a lot easier than I thought. It could be way worse than that. Okay, so we have a Harlequin Bugo. If you really squint and you're looking from a very long distance away, and you just kind of ignore the really laggy other side of it. So I think... I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do now. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. We do have the blue as an available color, so let's put it on this side and see what that does. I think what I'll do here is kind of create an invisible line that comes off of the back window and then just kind of down to the bumper. Or maybe something like this. It doesn't make any sense because it's a coupe, but I don't know. I just want to add more color to this now. Like, this area here should theoretically be the easiest one, just because it's, well, just flat and you don't have to go around the wheel well, so that's kind of what I'm banking on here. People are going to think that I've completely lost it when they see this, but I'm telling you right now, this is a true work of art. Abstract art. Oh my goodness, this is really bad. Oh no, I really didn't think it would be this awful. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did to the more modern Bugo and make that a darker color. And then I want to try and do the back, but I think I'm going to end up failing. Miserably, in fact. Let me also make this that nice blue. There you go. Should we just mess this up and just kind of like start adding flags to the top of it? Like if we put the Union Jack on there? Do you think that makes it better? Just something like that. Just add a splash of color to the top. It's really pixely, but I'm sure it would work out. It's basically the mini of Germany, maybe? Well, everything is broken today, and so are my eyes, but let's continue on regardless. See if I can't just make this ever so slightly better. And I'll erase this as well. It was a good attempt, but I don't know, it doesn't really fit the style now, does it? When I take the thumbnail for this, it's gonna have to be like far away so people don't see the horror that is this car. Now I kind of picture the trunk of it being red, just because it would kind of match with the front end, although I should probably make this red as well. Oh no, we don't even have a red queued up, never mind. Okay, so now what I have to do is go and change all of this stuff to be on a secondary layer. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this one is not mirror it. Oh boy, this is this is proving to be challenging, but I'm gonna not mirror it, and I'll instead just do one big layer on the back end and see if that works. Probably not going to work as well as I'd like, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That's just two pieces there, and we can kind of ignore everything underneath here. But that also means I need to fill in the rest of this, which is not looking so hot. Okay, the sides actually turned out a little bit better than I thought they would, at least for my immediate first try. This whole thing is a first draft. Sometimes I test cars before I make them just to get like a general style in. This one, nah, we're totally just winging it. Oh goodness, the back end came out so much quicker than everything else did. I don't know if that's it or not, but the Harlequin Bugo is born. Wow, it is just about as rough as you would think it would be, considering the Bugo legendary status. Oh, I forgot to paint this back bumper. Okay, let me see if I can do that quickly, and then I'll get back to you on the results. You basically have to trick the fixture to get close to the wheel well because it just doesn't want to, and it is a pain. Basically, if I take these and kind of just wrap them into the end of it, it wraps around so it kind of looks like there's a streak mark on the back of the wheel well, which would make sense for the paint quality of this car, as you can likely tell, but yeah, it seems to work. Okay, I think that's it for the back bumper, and I think that's it for the car in general. Let's take a look at it in photo mode and see what it looks like, but good lord, this thing is really bad. I think the concept is fine, but execution not so much. I've literally spent an hour on this, and I don't want to spend any more because I feel like it's just getting worse the more I add to it. It's weird because from the back it's the same color as the Bugo except for the blue bumper and like a hint of yellow, and then you turn to the side and it's like, whoa, Oh no, no. And then you start zooming in a little bit and you see this like fragmented area, and yeah, your sanity is definitely going to be questioned when you look at this car. I tend to take thumbnails in the white mirror section, and I'm now realizing that this is like Teddy Fresh colors as well. A very interesting looking car, even when automation tries to smooth it out. Here, let's zoom on in so you can see. Yeah, there you go. It's not exactly as smooth as you might want your paint to be, but that's what you get when you pay $399.90. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my tragedy in design. I tried, but you know what? Sometimes I'm gonna fail, and that's what this video showcases pretty much. So yeah, if you remember from the beginning, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch sometime around 1 p.m. EST, going to be going through all, or at least as many as we can, of the showcase cars that were submitted for the Rarest Car Showcase. But yeah, see you there. VOD up on YouTube on, well, Thursday or Friday, hopefully. But that's going to be it for this video. And this channel is supported by viewers like you. We have Canadian Steel Overlord, Dr. Ivo, That Rice-Stood Explorer, QT Bear, Terry Williams, The Most Random Person, 60 Cars and Stuff, Boris Ramirez, Daniel, and Jacob. Thank you all for your support.